Okay, I think we'll get started. Hello to the audience online. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, students, to the annual Chinook School of Music Celebration of Music Festival. We haven't done these in a couple years. Has anyone done a festival before? Yeah? Okay. So you know, it's kind of more formal educational opportunity, but you know what? We can make it fun and cool as well. We have a really amazing guest in the house today. So this is Stephen Dorscher, and he's a guitarist and educator based in Calgary. He performs as a solo artist as well as in small and large ensembles in several ongoing musical projects. He has wowed audiences across Canada and the United States. Congratulations on that. Stephen has been teaching music since 2013, specializing in guitar, electric bass, ukulele, and music theory. He holds a Bachelor of Music from the U of C, where he studied classical guitar under Ralph Meyer. That's how you say his last name? Great. Stephen currently plays guitar in Unsung Hero, a hard rock and metal band in Calgary, as well as Duo, how do you say it? Duo? Oh yeah, see? Perfect. A chamber music duo specializing in music for classical guitar and violin, which is pretty cool. A couple things I just wanted to note. You can take your mask down when you're performing if you'd like. It's optional for you. We do ask that you keep your mask on when you're sitting in your seat. And, you know, when you get up here, we suggest that you take a bow, give yourself a minute, sit down, take a breath, don't rush, really want to be prepared for your piece. And, you know, if you get stuck in a position, just take a little moment. You can restart. Take a breath and just take it easy. You know, we're here to learn and support each other, so we like to clap when people get up and do their bow, and we like to clap at the end as well. How we're going to run today's event is you're going to perform, and then Stephen's going to write some notes on his paper for you, and then you're going to stay up here while he does that, and then he's going to workshop with you on some stuff about your piece. So I know you guys are probably in a rush to go. It's Sunday night, but you know what? I really encourage you, if you think there's something about your piece that you'd really like to work on, we have the time today. Ask the questions. You're with a really great professional guitarist, and he can really help you. It's really nice to get some insight from a different teacher than your own on something that, you know, you might not even thought of until you're up there today. So, does that sound good with everybody? All right. So, by the way, my name is Isis Graham, and I'm the administrator here at the school. I'm running the streaming this weekend. And I'm happy that you're all here, and I'm excited to watch you play. Okay, so to start the show, we'd love to hear from Will.
So, Tranquility, taken from the second Berkeley method book. Really good method books, and I mean the music in these books are phenomenal, written by William Levitt. I like that you did a finger-picked version. I mean, as I'm sure you already know, with me being a classical fingerstyle player, I definitely have a soft spot for fingerstyle tunes. And I think it serves this tune very well. It definitely kind of fits in with the title and the theme of the piece. So when you're finger picking, there's not really too much music-wise that I want to work out, because music-wise it sounded great. But I think what we'll do is we'll work on a couple different aspects when it comes to technique, in hopes to make certain things like this, and later on in the book when you're playing, the harder stuff, easier in the long run too. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about when you're finger picking is to avoid any contact with the actual top of the instrument. And we were just commenting how beautiful you have this Gretsch. What a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people think that the sound comes out of the sound hole for an acoustic guitar. And while some of that is true, a lot of the sound and the energy from the strings goes into the sound hole itself and vibrates the whole top. So the top of the instrument vibrating is how the instrument gets its tone. And different tone woods will give you different results. So for instance, like spruce will give you a very bright sound, and cedar will give you a very warm sound. As soon as you add weight on it, and you can even try it, with most acoustic guitars, if you strum it nice and open and then put your arm on top of on the top, usually behind the bridge or on the sides, you'll notice that the volume will drop a little bit. So biggest thing when you're doing finger picking is just to try to hover the fingers over the strings itself and try not to anchor on the pick guard. It's less of an issue with the electric guitars because you have more electronics there, but still you don't really want to put that much weight on the fingers themselves. So that's the first thing that I think we'll do. So when you're doing the finger picking, I noticed that you had your thumb going for the single notes, and there are a lot of players that do that. Like right off the top of my head, like Wes Montgomery, he played almost everything with his thumbs. So it is a way of playing. However, with a lot of the eighth notes in this tune, you may want to try alternating your fingers. Have you ever done that before when you're playing repetitive notes, like to alter? Okay, so which finger combinations have you practiced in the past when it comes to alternating? Oh, okay. So like doing like index and middle and thumb and okay, yeah. So what I wrote on your adjudication, and maybe you've already done this, but I was suggesting a couple options to do this. Why don't we start off with I and M? And I kind of just want to see, like, I'll just grab my guitar here. We're not going to do anything crazy here, but I just want to see how you'd alternate. Maybe just on like an open E. So I'm just going to go index and middle, just open E. Nothing fancy. I just kind of want to see how you move your fingers there. Very good. Yeah, okay. So I think for a tune like this, you may want to actually try the alternation, because the idea behind this is that while one finger is playing the note, the other one is preparing to play it. So the outcome is a little bit more smoother overall. So that's one thing to try out. Now the other one, have you ever done like thumb and index before, like playing thumb and index, like back to back? Not too many players do that. Yeah, it's a different kind of alternation. It's one that I try to do a little bit more these days. But one of the benefits of practicing thumb and index alternation is that it's pretty much the same muscle groups that you would use when you're holding a pick. Like you can see here, if I play, and now if I go to thumb and index, my hand is in a slightly different shape, yeah, but you can see that it's almost the same kind of motion. So when you work on that, it actually will help a lot with your picking chops as well too. So yeah, just for some of those eighth note runs to try out alternating index and middle or thumb and index. Lastly, I wrote in how experimenting with different playing postures can affect certain things in terms of like how easy and hard they are. So I mean, right now you're holding the guitar like a traditional way like this. But do you ever hold it like with the classical position on the other leg?
No.
Give it a try. Maybe if you want, I don't know how well you have it. Well, you already played pretty well by memory today. Would you be able to maybe just play like the last like line or the last phrase, maybe with this position? So see if you can just kind of rest the guitar like on your leg, like this dip right here should be just not like on the leg, on the other leg. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Just for the last 4 bars, just see if it makes a difference. I realize it might feel different, but I'm just curious. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Great, great. So I wrote that in because, oftentimes when you change the posture, the orientation of the instrument changes too. So you notice there, you went from your neck being like completely horizontal to having a bit of an incline to it. And that, like, one of the reasons why classical players do that is because it helps with the range. You can reach the lowest of the low to the highest of the high fairly easily. And then you can adjust the height, with a footstool or something. But you don't have to play this tune entirely this way, but it's worth trying out. And I think for certain sections, particularly if you have higher notes where you have to play with the pinky, like in this tune, or just bigger 5-fret stretches, for instance, which this one has some of it. Playing like that will definitely make it easier. So other than that, it was a very very good performance. I think you nailed the tone of the tune very well. But other than the techniques and things that we talked about today, do you have any questions for me before we move on to the next performer? Fantastic. Well, that was some great playing. Let's give him another round of applause. And I will give you your adjudication and your comment sheet right there. All right, my pleasure.
Thanks, Will. That was so great. Okay, Dane, let's get you in the ukulele up here.
All right. Yeah. Is there a copy of the score for this one? I have the guitar version.
Yes, I do.
Oh, perfect.
So organized, you teenagers. Bravo.
Thank you very much. Oh, wow. This one's
Let's see, so where are you going to hold this?
way.
Probably here.
Whatever's comfortable. I'll move this to where you want to be.
Okay.
So that's probably good. See if we can get.
Real quick before we start, is there meaning behind the orange boxes or the red lines? Is there something specific that I should know?
It was just taken from a video because I couldn't find the full sheet.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, I've done this before too. Yes, no problem at all. That's fine. I wasn't sure if I was missing anything, so that's great. Okay. Yeah. I should be ready when you are. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
think I'm pretty much ready here.
Okay.
Excellent rendition of the tune. I'm a big fan of Radiohead. I mean, I feel like every kind of guitar string instrument player you can't really go far without hearing about Radiohead. Really close to the original. You're doing it. It looks like you're doing it in the exact same key. I didn't realize it worked so well for the uke. It kind of makes me wanna try it out. So for this stuff, unfortunately, I don't have a uke with me, but we'll still be able to talk a little bit about. But really, for this one, much like the previous performer, I think that the music is really good, and really, I'll just kind of give you a few pointers when it comes to technique to make it even better, and to make it so that way you can play a lot harder tunes as well. So yeah, one thing I noticed right off the bat with this version compared to how I know the guitar version is that this one has a lot more motion in between the strings.
Yeah.
So I noticed you're doing almost exclusively with your thumb. Have you ever experimented with playing like four-finger right hand techniques, such as like thumb, index, middle, ring? Have you ever done that before?
Only a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I recommend that definitely for stuff like this where you have notes going every which way when it comes to string order. When you listen to the recording, they change up the patterns too. It's never the same pattern twice, so it makes it challenging to learn. If you have like basically the idea is that you assign your thumb for the fourth string, index for the third, middle for the second, and ring for the first. So that way, whatever notes happen on whichever string, you already know which digit to play. And then the only exception to that rule is like if you have a lot of fast notes, you would probably alternate. We were chatting about alternation earlier today. But I find that more oftentimes than not, that even for slow pieces, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of, which digit would I play the string? Or, shifting back and forth between the two. So maybe changing up the right-hand technique for a lot of these arpeggios, you'll notice that it will go ring, middle, index for a lot of those patterns. And that's a very natural thing to do as a fingerstyle player. Next, the thing that I wrote down was experimenting with holding the uke more upright. More so than the guitars. I find that, especially when I'm playing on a small uke, I tend to hold it very upright. So if I was... well, I'll use my pen here as an example. For guitars, I kind of hold it with the neck kind of more horizontal, but with a uke, I'd probably hold it more like this, so where it's like coming down this way. It can be tricky to hold it that upright and to keep it up there. So you may want to maybe make use of like a guitar strap or a ukulele strap to help with that. Do you have access to a guitar strap at home, perhaps?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And most ukuleles will come with a uke strap button. If it doesn't have one, it's very easy to fit them on. I've done it myself. But I think it makes all the difference in the world to have it where you have the instrument where it's not moving. As soon as you lift off your left hand, the instrument will stay there. And using a simple guitar strap works well. They make special like ukulele straps where they clip on basically at the front of the instrument, and it just kind of clips on where the sound hole is, and you wear it around your neck like a lanyard. So I have a couple students that they hold it that way, and then it just like before, it just keeps it up so that way you don't have to kind of fight with the instrument to get those notes. So that'd be another thing to experiment with, or if you want to maybe like elevate your foot, or some players I've known that like they'll put like a pillow underneath their instrument to kind of hold it up. There's so many ways that you can experiment with them, and like they're all widely used in performance settings. So yeah, just a lot of experimentation on that section. Lastly, have you ever played or do you know about low G tuning on the ukulele?
No.
Oh, okay. So one option that ukulele players that have kind of over the guitar players is choosing whether or not you have a high G or a low G. Most ukes, when you buy them from the music stores or from the factories, they come with a high G, and it's known as reentrant tuning, where you have one string that's higher than some of the others. So it's like high, low, 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 high. A low G moves the G down an octave, so the strings are in order from low to high. In most cases, it doesn't take any notes away, and it just gives you extra lower notes to play. And in creep, when you're doing the B chord, where it has you go up to the fourth string, it might sound closer to the recording to have a low G. And it's fairly easy to pick them up. Most music stores you can get low Gs for like a couple bucks, $2 or $3. Or you can even use a classical fourth string as a low G. That's what a lot of touring players have used for ukuleles for many years. Nylon guitar strings and ukulele strings are almost interchangeable, so you can switch them out for one and the other. And I think for a tune like this, given how many notes there are and how true to the recording it is, I think having that low G would be that final piece to the puzzle. And a lot of uke players, myself included, I have ukes that have the high Gs, and I'll use those for kind of traditional Hawaiian music. But low G gives you a little bit more control in terms of the notes and how they sound. So really for this one, keep up the good work. Do you play this with the recording already? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, because I figured if it's in the same key, you may as well try it with the recording too. So yeah, really just trying out some of those techniques to see if it helps to kind of get from chord to chord, and then perhaps trying that low G tuning. Other than that, do you have any questions for me in regards to that? No, that was an excellent playthrough. So I will give you the certificate, your comment sheet, and I'll give you your score back as well. That was excellent. All right. Here, my friend. Yeah, another round of applause. That was fantastic. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Dane.
Thank you, Dane. Okay, let's move into Oliver. We're going to set up this electric setup here now.
Sweet. No.
Sounding good enough for you in the room?
Sure.
Just a note to make sure we're I just want to say for the folks tuned in at home that you may not have heard that as loud as we did here in the room. For some reason, it's just not, the low end isn't coming through as hot as I would have liked it through the stream. But I assure you, it sounded great in the room. been better a bit louder. But it's pretty loud already, right? Is that reverb or is that like more amplification?
What, this?
Oh, yeah, I
Would-
think that
Would that have
last one,
given it more juice to you?
it gives it more power, yeah, which will in turn bring up the volume. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
That's like max volume. That's like the sound loud.
If you want to shred through that again for people watching, we will take the mic.
Is that max volume now? There you go. Let's go again.
Do both, and maybe that will help us. Yeah, I just want. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it this way. Maybe this will help. Not strong enough. Here we go. If you find something will work, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's do that again.
Sounded a lot better the second time through. Oh, yes, sorry. Excellent. All right. Yeah, second playthrough was really good. Thank you again for that. Very nice sense of rhythm. I can tell you really know this tune very well. I had a great time kind of listening to this tune in preparation for the festival, too. I'm a big fan of Stone Temple Pilots. For the percussive parts, it's kind of funny because when I wrote this comment, then like literally right when I wrote it, you started doing exactly what I was writing down. But I'll go in a little more in depth anyways. I wrote down for the percussive notes, the muted notes, try to play around with maybe a little bit of harmonics. So you may already know there's natural harmonics that occur on frets, basically frets 5, 7, and 12. And for those who don't know what harmonics are, it's basically when you they're like hidden notes on a string. When you hit a note in a particular way on those frets, it makes the higher octave ring out, and sometimes you can get like a fifth and fourths as well. It's a lot of fun to experiment with them, and you can also get them with a pick as well too. But natural harmonics is what we're talking about here. So I was writing to maybe when you're going through those percussive parts to try hovering around the fifth and the seventh, because those will kind of give you the most kind of easier to hit harmonics for that part, but you already were doing a little bit of that too, so maybe just kind of gravitate towards those strings. I think a lot of our comments here will just kind of pertain to the solo itself. The rhythm guitar playing was actually really good, and there's not much I want to change about that. So really good job with the solo. It's a hard solo, very fast. The rhythms are pretty close. There was a particular lick though that I wanted to go through, and this will basically kind of I'll try to do a demo here, but I'll get you to play it here as well. It's the part where you have to go, let's see if I can play this here, measure 52, where it's this part. Yeah, you want to play that one more time for the audience there? Yeah, that part right there. Now I was really impressed with the speed that he's able to achieve with his down picks. But that's actually what I was gonna comment on. Is I think you'd probably get away with alternate picking to give your right hand a bit of a break. You can see how fast you're going back and forth between the two. But I'll show you another demo here when I do it. So basically what I'm doing here is every down pick I'm following with an up pick, and vice versa. Every up pick gets followed with a down pick. But you can see the difference when I'm playing it here. My hand isn't moving as frantically. Mind you, you're still going faster than me at the down picking. So I imagine that if you practice that part with the alternate picking, you'll probably get even faster and a little bit more relaxed for that particular section. There's fast notes all around, so I mean, overall, I think alternate picking would help a lot, just moving a little bit more efficiently. Have you done much work with alternate picking in the past?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So a few things, and you probably already know some of these exercises already, but very basic ones that I give my students, and I usually give it to them without even writing them down. Most people can kind of figure them out just by me showing them. 4-finger patterns when you go through alternate picking, so I'll show you here. You can play this on any fret. So where you play 4 fingers on a string, and then you play that on every string. And you can see here with my right hand, hopefully you guys can see, I'm alternate picking to the best of my abilities, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You can also practice that up, down, so you practice the reverse directions. And finally, you can also take out one of the middle fingers, like for instance, if I do fingers 1, 2, and 4. That's also a really good way to work on your alternate picking, because then you'll be dealing with an odd number of notes per string. The first string will be down, up, down. The next one will be up, down, up. So that's kind of the hardest part when you're doing the alternate picking is crossing strings. But I definitely think that will make the solo, if anything, it's going to make it a little bit easier to play and give your hands a bit of a break so you're not frantically going through it. But overall, really good job with that. Lastly, near the end of the solo, there's like that one really fast pentatonic lick. And I'll just kind of play the pentatonic scale here. But I think here, rather than working on alternate picking, I think for the left hand, if you could bring this part of your hand closer to the fretboard so your fingers get a little bit more curled. The idea is that you want to basically flex from this knuckle when you're fretting. And the rest of the finger will just kind of follow suit, rather than kind of extending the finger and doing it that way there too. So I think playing that way will really make that part easier to play too. So really a couple spots to work on with the technique. Lastly, if this kind of stuff is more kind of what you're after, a lot of my work that I've done with technique, and a lot of with my students as well, is I'll show them videos by Troy Grady on YouTube. He's one of the best guys when it comes to like working on technique. He has really high production values in his videos that involve a lot of like computer generated graphics that show exactly how different techniques, slants of the pick, where you're gripping the pick, which fingers are holding the pick, and the effect on the tone and the sound of the pick that way too. He does a lot of real world examples with songs such as rock songs like the Stone Temple Pilots. So I think giving him a search and maybe finding some of those will help you with playing those solos and other ones like it. Other than that, I was really impressed with Chipping on a Hole. I think you got a really good tune on your fingers here. Do you have any questions or spots that you wanted to tackle with this one before we move on to the next performer? Great. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So if that's it, yes. Oh. All right, and here is your certificate of achievement and your adjudication. There you go.
Up next, we've got
mess with like the settings you
Please
guys,
do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Please
for
do.
distortion.
Is this gonna turn into a noise maybe? Let's see. I'm just like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
ready for
Right.
it. Okay, it wasn't that bad.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
You do you. We kind of know what you're missing.
Are you trying to get more like a metal sound for this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want, I can help you with that too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not familiar with this sound.
Yes, I have one of these Valvetronics at home. They work really well. So you probably want to use the UK metal setting. That's like the Marshall setting. So let's see what that sounds like. Does that sound okay for you?
Yeah. Okay, great.
All right. Seconds here, and we'll start the comments in a second.
If your music teacher is it David?
Yeah.
Mine. If both Oliver and Xavier, because they're more rock guys, it sounds like music teacher. We usually have this program called Rock Band where we actually put together a real band and try to put together great. And then join as a band and form a band. I don't know if you've already doing that. This is for me by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I used to do like a thing where it was like me and like 3 other guys, and we would do like just like songs. It was all guitar players, and
Yeah.
we do it with like Ryan, I think.
Yeah, Ryan was one of them, yeah.
And yeah, after
Guitar
COVID,
ensemble, I think. Yeah.
I dropped it after COVID, I think.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he's
I don't.
obviously since then. I
Yeah.
think we're looking to bring it back next year, but it was really cool when we did with like drummers and everything. It was really
Yeah.
fun. So that's
Yeah.
something to think about for next time. I know sometimes it can be hard to meet other people that are at your same level, so I understand that you cared
Yeah.
about that. That we know that we can find the right people.
Check some elevated. There's one spot I gotta check, but just about good. All right. Enter Sandman. I teach this tune a lot. Actually, one of my own students is currently working on this song as well, so I have it fresh in my mind. I was working on it a couple days ago. So nice authentic tone. I'm glad we were able to mess around with the setting there because I think that the setting that you have is pretty true to the Black Album tone there, and great rhythm playthrough. Not much that I would change with the rhythm, to be honest with you. I think you're playing it pretty accurately, but there's a few things at the beginning that I think we'll see if we can play together actually. So at the beginning when you were doing the like sliding up to the 7 there, what I think you should do, just because I know the recording pretty well, is that James Hetfield actually keeps the chugging going when he does that. So I'll see if I can demonstrate it here. I know it's unplugged, but hopefully you can hear it. So right when you do the slide, you hit the low E right away. So I'll see if I can show you one more time. Like that, right? So would you be able to see if you can play that with how well you know the tune there? Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, right after, yeah. That's it, yes. All right, excellent. So last thing, I do like holding the note. So see if you can still hold the note while you get the low E chugging. Let's try that one more time there. There we go. That's it. Yes, yes. There we go. That sounds closer to the recording there. So that's the change that I would make for the intro only. Once you played later on in the tune that you were able to sort that out. So that was pretty good. Now, with this version, there's so many, or this version of the song, there's so many variants in terms of how players interpret the chorus. And the score that I use actually has two guitar parts playing two different things. So there's one guitar part for the chorus that does this, which I think is what you're playing. The other guitar player is doing this. So they actually add an extra note for the other guitar part, and they're just doing 4, 3, 2 on the 5th string there. So it goes chord 4, 3, 2, chord 4, 3, 2, chord 4, 3, 2. Let's see if you can play that section of the tune right there. Yeah, so right from that chord, then you would play the 4 on the 5th string. That's it. Yes, yes, yes. So it's one note that we add, but it makes all the difference, I feel like, because it's that one note that is missing from the recording there. Do you play with the recording for this tune?
I have not actually.
Really? Okay, yeah. I think that would be the next step. I mean, I don't think you're going to have any issues playing with it because you're already at the tempo of the recording. Really, I think if you play with the track, you pretty much have everything up until the solo. It's a nice way to just kind of double check on how you're playing. So just a couple changes, and I think overall, definitely playing with the track on YouTube, it's great because you have the slowdown feature. I was mentioning that to another student earlier today, where either on the desktop site or on the app itself, now you can go into the settings and change increments of 25% speed. So you can play this at 75 or 50% without changing the pitch. So it makes it super helpful to practice along with. And definitely if you're playing well-known tunes that are readily available on the site, it's definitely in our best interest to practice with that slowdown feature for sure. So really for Enter Sandman, really accurate performance. Just a couple things that we're going to add in, mostly in the intro and in the chorus. But overall, I was really impressed with the playthrough. Are there any sections or any spots with this tune that you wanted to work out before we conclude the performances here?
No, not that I can think of right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Really well played there, my friend. Yeah, really good. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, fantastic. I have your certificate and your adjudication here. Yeah. There you are, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I can get that turned down for you. Yeah, so then there's no buzzing.
Awesome. Will you guys join me in putting your hands together for Steven and his amazing adjudication today?
Thank you so much, guys. It was a killer to be able to come in and enjoy the music once again. It's been forever since I've been out of the house, so thank you all once again.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I have an odd question. Would you guys, because you all have such cool instruments and there's so much variety, will you take a group photo with Steven for me? Please, pretty please.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you.
Here, I'll get my